Hey, this is Dave from metalepidemic.com. Thank you for checking out our YouTube video. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button below if you like this type of content, and we hope you enjoy the review. Dave here from Metal Epidemic, back with another album review. And for this review, Duncan Kyle and myself have been checking out the new album from rock supergroup The Limit. The band's new album, Caveman Logic, will be released on April 9th via Svart Records. So, featuring Jimmy Recca of legendary punk band The Stooges, Bobby Liebling of doom rock band Pentagram, Sonny Vincent of legendary New York punk originators Testers, and Hugo Conem and João Pedro Ventura of infamous Portuguese metal band Dawn Rider. The Limit are ready to deliver the basic and vital elements often missing in so much of today's music, and to show a new generation of what doom and punk really means. So, this one came in from Svart Records, which I'm a bit of a fan of. I do like the stuff they put out. But I don't know why, but I seem to put off listening to this for so long.
You've been frustrating the fuck out of me. But like, once again, a peek behind the curtain, I still am on their mailing list from when we did Rock and Reels years ago, and very much like yourself, everything, if Svart put something out, I'd take a punt on it, because they did some weird fucking Finnish folk metal pagan shit, and I was into that. And so they did the music video for Black Sea, the second track, and when I heard it, the first thing I thought was Beastmilk, like straight away. And Beastmilk are a band I fucking adore. So I said to Dave, like, when this album becomes available, if you could maybe see about trying it, and then literally, and I shit you not, listeners, this is the power of the big boss man. Like, less than 30 minutes later, you were like, check your email, and I had it 3 months before its release. So I have listened to this album to fucking exhaustion. Like, I've listened to it so many times, which gives away my general feelings for it, but I listened to it so much. But every time I would talk about it, we record every week, and every time it's been mentioned, you're like, I started listening, but then I end up doing, and I've been like, just fucking listen to the album, Dave. Just listen to the fucking album so we can talk about it. But you probably did the smart thing, Dave. You waited off and saved the conversation for the recording, which is what a smart pro does. I would have had us talked about it to death, and then we sat down here, we'd all be like, aye, The Limit, we all got grades, aye. Let's jog on. So I'm glad that you didn't, but at the same time, we have had this for 2.5 months.
Yeah, and to be honest, now that I've listened to it a number of times, I'm kind of annoyed myself that I put it off for so long. Because this is a really addictive album.
I've been buzzing about this. I've been fucking buzzing about it.
Well, let's start musically. It does pull in a lot of influences from the other bands.
Yep.
It's got a lot of the kind of punk tempos and kind of old school kind of chord structures. A wee bit of the, as you mentioned, a wee bit of the kind of post-punk thing going on as well at times.
Yep.
On tracks like Black Sea. And then it's got little bits where it goes slightly doomier. The kind of tones of the music go slightly doomier of kind of Bobby Liebling's other work. And then at times it just kind of oozes this kind of like these kind of hard rock sensibilities as well. And well, this is not like, the listeners thinking, well, that's nothing necessarily groundbreaking. And it's not, but what these guys show as kind of veterans of the kind of music industry is how brilliant they are at constructing really catchy songs with like big melodic hooks that'll just make you want to put this album on repeat. And the riffs aren't super technical or intricate, but they are well balanced with melody, and they've got this kind of punk rock attitude kind of ingrained in them. And then on top of that, you've got this kind of weird kind of soulful but kind of throaty kind of voice from Bobby Liebling that's it's really infectious. I really loved his vocals on this. He's got a tone, he's got grit, but most importantly, his voice has got a lot of personality to it, a very kind of distinctive sound. And I think that there's a track on the album called Fleeting Thoughts. It's probably the perfect example of kind of all those things in one. You've got memorable lyrics, you've got a catchy kind of sing-along chorus, but he also pushes his voice into the kind of punkier parts of the song to give it a bit more energy as well. I don't know about you guys, but on more than one occasion, I got some kind of old school kind of Guns N' Roses vibes on this album. Just every now and again, I'd be like, oh, that kind of reminds me of a kind of like kind of Appetite for Destruction type era.
Little kind of hooks on the guitar.
A little riff or a little bit of lead work. Very old school. Back when Guns N' Roses were actually decent.
One album,
and it was like
shots fired.
Just little subtleties that remind me of them occasionally. But for me, I don't know about you, but first of all, I know Duncan, but first listen to this, when I got to the end of it, I just wanted to put it back on again.
Yep.
Like I was just like, yep, let's get this back on again. It's like, what, about 35, 36 minutes long, something like that. So a really good album length for repeat plays. And that's partly down to obviously the kind of length of the tracks. They don't really outstay their welcome at all. Some of the tracks are just over 2 minutes, you know what I mean? But they still leave an impression on you. That's how good the kind of writing on this is. All they need is that 2 minutes just to get stuck in your head. Kyle, I'm going to go to Kyle.
You motherfucker just going to make me wait now. You make me wait, you son of a bitch.
You'll wait more longer. Kyle, what did you make of The Limit?
There's a limit to how much I can take of this kind of music. And when it comes to this album, that there is no limit. I loved it from beginning to end, and I've played it like 100,000 times, and I'm going to play it 100,000 times more. And if it's not on my end of year list this year, then something very interesting has happened in the world of good old fashioned rock and roll.
Danzig has a new Elvis covers album. That's right, ladies and gents. Clear that space. Incoming.
I'm not kidding. If you're ever in a shit mood, put that Danzig covers album on, and you will be happy as a pig in shit by the end of it, because there's no way there's anything you could have done in your life as bad as that.
I don't know how low I would need to be to put that album on, Kyle. I really don't.
Yeah.
Once I've given it one listen, and I don't expect myself to go back to it ever again.
It makes me unendingly happy how fucking horrible that album is.
Danzig. Oh, good old Danzig.
Yeah. Anyway, so The Limit, Caveman Logic, unbelievable. Yeah. Like, it's just, all the songs are fantastically, amazingly written. And it's like, of course, we were all saying they've got influences from their other bands, and they're not doing anything really new, but what they are doing is doing it amazingly well. It's like watching Pulp Fiction over again. It's like, okay, I've seen it 1,000 times, but I still love it, and I'm going to love it for the rest of my life, right? And it's like, and what's the dude, Sonny, singing? He's singing like it's his last days on Earth.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And like, whatever vocal choice he's making for the song is just like, that's exactly what you should be doing. And you're doing it better than you ever have before. Just keep on doing it. Yeah. And the production is perfect. Not a fake drum in sight. It's not super polished. It's not, crap. Of course it's not crap. I mean, look at the caliber of musician that's on there. But I mean, it's like, it's hard to put my finger on it, but it's so addictive. You just want to listen to it all the time. You can listen to it driving, you listen to it walking, sleeping, eating dinner, whatever you want, It's just an album for all occasions, especially weddings, which I'm going to try, actually, next time I'm wedding DJ. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of things to say, mostly gushing about how great it is. It's really, really, really good. And I didn't think I would like it, because it's not usually the type of music I go for.
Yeah.
But it drew me in straight away with that first track, right through to last, just held me. There was no parts I thought that were like, this is dragging on a bit, or this has been done too many times. It was like, all the songs have their own personality and their own riffs and their own everything, and nothing really sounds too samey as you get through. But it was, it was really, really well done album, and I'm really, really happy I got it, so far in advance. So I listened to it 100 billion times.
Nice. So that is the review.
Fucking head explosion everywhere. Son of a bitch.
Duncan, what did you think of The Limit and Caveman Logic?
About 3 months in the making. The thing about it is, the single they released, Black Sea, is not indicative of the sound of the album. It's actually almost weirdly the oddity of the album. It's the one which brings in more of those doom influences you were talking about, certainly with the punk, but there is a kind of really 80s kind of macabre sensibility that I really enjoyed about it. It does remind me a lot of the Beastmilk release, Climax, in some respects. The rest of the album reminds me of a really polished version of the Beastmilk EP, Use Your Deluge.
Right, okay.
Which, you know, like, which didn't sound like the album. Like, weirdly, it was far more kind of nihilistic and kind of post-apocalyptic. And The Limit have a bit of that about them. You know what I mean? There's this kind of really... It was what kept coming into my head is I'm not the biggest fan of the Stooges. God knows I have tried, and everyone keeps telling me how fucking amazing and ahead of the time they were, and I've tried and I've better tried. But this, see if someone had given me this first, because there's just enough of those sounds in here that works really, really well. The production, we've said it, is the tits. It's perfect. There's something about veteran musicians of kind of the punk and the rock genre persuasion where they're just infinitely talented. They can just write, they can pull riffs at their arse, right? Honestly. And that's kind of what I felt here. Like, the thing about it is, it was like the first time I ever listened to them Crooked Vultures, the Dave Grohl, Josh Homme, and what's his tits from Led Zeppelin, I think it was, playing, and he did bass and keyboards on the album, and the bass and keyboard sounded completely different from the rest of the band, but there was just this precision and just like confidence about the playing that just worked really well, and that's what you get on this release in spades. The riffs are not the most remarkable riffs you'll ever hear, but by God are they fucking memorable, and they hook and they stay and they pick up when they, like, some songs kick in with a really kind of punky energy, other ones go more kind of more bluesy rock energy. Loved all that. Bass player is fucking the tits, man. The bass player is just not following what the guitarist is doing all the way through this. He's away up the fretboard, he's having fun, he knows what he's doing, he's winking at someone while he's doing it. He's fucking brilliant. Drums, tight as fuck. Vocals, amazing. This guy's age and tone and weathered voice suits it really, really well. Kind of reminded me of a little bit at times, although a little bit more upbeat, of see when Johnny Cash covered Hurt? There's a bit of that in there, you know, age and experience kind of dripping out it. My only complaint is some of the lyrics make him sound like an old man. Like, he's talking about people, these kids with the iPhones, and I'm like, oh, come on, let's not descend into get off my lawn territory, which is really easy to do. But, like, I mean, there was a couple in there. I actually thought lyrically he explores some really dark subject matter, like really kind of, which is why Johnny Cash's version of Hurt worked as well as it did, because he was basically singing about his life in that song. And there's a bit of that in here of, you know, trying to find your place in the ever-changing world, that part of realising that the world that you occupy now has changed so much it's almost unrecognisable. And there's an existentialism about it which I really, really, really like, in the lyrics and the way he delivers it. I think this is a fucking stunning release. I genuinely do. There ain't one thing on this that I think is wrong. It fits the brief. It does exactly what it's supposed to. It's recorded perfectly. Like you say, it is infectious as fuck. It finishes and you're just like, I'll shove this on again. And I have done that on loop. And I'm not even. I don't even want to check my iTunes. I've listened to this easily over 50 times. Easily. This is the one you were talking about recently about palate cleansers. You shove something on which is short to get through. This has been my palate cleanser album. Like, at least twice a week, this has been on for a listen to it. It's just very, very... It's amenable, it's catchy, it's accessible. If you're a musician, you can see what they're doing, but you don't need to be a musician. You listen. If you walked into any rock bar anywhere in the world and one of these songs was playing, you're in the right place. You're like, you know, you're in the right bar. And that, to me, you can teach kids how to play guitar and write music all you want, but there's a level of songwriting and craftsmanship that only comes with years and years and years of graft, and that The Limit has that in fucking spades. It's a brilliant release. Yep,
100%. Okay, so
Get off my
Look up.
chest. Spent it's 2.5 months edging that review right at the tip. You know what I mean? Review blue ball in it.
I think you've said enough about it, really.
Oh man. Yeah.
Okay, so ratings for the new album from The Limit, Caveman Logic. I will kick us off. I will probably go in, as I say, it's very infectious. It is really addictive. I've listened to it a ton since I started actually giving it a proper listen. I've probably gone at a 4.5, I think, on this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Kyle, what are you thinking?
Oh, I don't know. It's been a long time coming with this score, hasn't it? I think.
My favourite setup to give my review. Oh. I don't know. Do I have to do this bit, Dave?
I'll go with a. Let's
Look
take
at him.
everything into consideration.
Look at him. He's thinking about it. I can tell he's thinking about it.
See ya.
He wants to drop his first
See ya.
5 of the year, doesn't he?
For the first time this year, it's gonna have to be a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5, nice.
Yeah.
And Duncan.
This is a 5 for me. This is
Ooh.
I'm not scared to do it. I'll jump right in with both feet. This is a 5-star album. There's nothing on here that is even remotely criticisable out with some lyrics sung by an old man. He's not going to be singing about fucking manga and shit like that. So of course he's going to be singing about iPhones and people not eating at a dinner table. No, this to me is the sort of stuff that gets me really excited. Once again, very similar to some of the other releases we've had this year that have been slightly off to the side. I'm thinking like The Lion's Daughter and stuff like that. I can't imagine I'm going to have listened to another album that sounds like this at the end of the year. And that to me makes me excited. I want that. I want diversity. I want things to be different. But first and foremost, I want really well written songs. And it's
This
there.
album has that.
This I can't change. I wouldn't want to change it. It's perfect just the way it is. 5 from this guy. There you go. Yes!
That 5.
Yes! Hit the system.
Nice. This one
You've heard
drops
the album then.
Yeah, only one so, halfway through.
one spin. This one drops on the 9th of April on Svart Records. The album is called Caveman Logic. If you want to check them out on Facebook, it's facebook.com/TheLimitRock. Got a little link in the description below. Let us know what you think. If you've heard any of the singles, and once you've heard the album, let us know what you think of it. Happy to hear your thoughts and opinions. That is the review. Thanks for checking it out. Much appreciated. We'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, take care. Speak to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.
As the water rises,